Welcome out to EG Live. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Cyrus Martin. How you doing, man?
Yo, what up? What up, Doug?
What's up? We've got 3 stories for you tonight. I know last week we did things a little differently. We were talking about we're going to just roll right on into that real quick. We were talking about the fall and winter movie game. So tomorrow is literally the last day to enter. If you missed the summer movie game that we did and we're like, oh man, I wish I could have done that. Now's your chance. So you literally have until midnight tomorrow, Friday, October 3rd, to put in your entry. It's super easy. You've got 100 points. You go in, you pick the movies that you don't go over 100 points, but you pick the movies that you think are going to do the best. That are on your team. And then every week I just update and see, how well they've done. You're actually going to get the benefit from when we did it last week, because the 6 of us that were bidding on it, if Cy picked a movie, no one else got it. Whereas you're going to get to be able to pick from the best of the best from everybody. So, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. This one always kind of runs 2 games. Like there's always the general game overall. And then we tend to have like a little sub game of just the people who are doing the bidding, just be like, well, I beat the hell out of you. So, but I'll be honest with you. I think you've got the best bet. You totally like blew me away when you're like, yeah, I remember when I've won this game multiple times before. This was my strategy. And I was just like, SOB remembered how to play this game.
It was weird because when we started, I didn't remember, but as it was going, it was like rediscovering my superpowers. Like it was like, I see. Oh,
yeah.
But I did get some help, our buddy that was on the stream with us, your friend, Travis, excuse me. Sorry. He kind of helped me a couple of times, maybe not intentionally, maybe intentionally. Do we have a secret pact? Maybe. I wouldn't tell if we did. No, we don't, but it worked out. And to be honest, it was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
Ray did something that when he did it, I was like, what is he doing? And then as the show continued, I was like, you know what? I see. Good one, Ray. Good one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting how that worked out. Fun game. Although I will say also, the people that play along that have the benefit of picking and choosing from all of our stuff, they're the people with the real advantage.
Oh, hell yeah.
Guys, if you play, you're probably going to win if you do it right.
Yeah.
You have a huge advantage. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because I think Chris went in on like 90 points on the Wicked movie and then didn't get anything else. So even if you think that's the best bet, you could still go in and pick the Wicked movie, and then you've got 10 more points that you could pick up. So I literally got several movies for 1 and 2 points.
Yes.
So literally you could pick like 5 2-point movies, or you could, if there's absolutely 10 1-point movies, I don't think there are, you could pick all 10 of those and like really stack it. So
yeah, there's a huge potential there,
Absolutely. So, all righty. Well, like I said, we do have 3 stories tonight, and one of them actually affects me personally. So that should be interesting. So I guess let's jump right on into it. Our first story for the evening is EA is getting purchased and taken private. I think the main thing about this is the back part of that story is the fact that it's being taken private. But now this isn't 100%. It's still subject to approval by the EA stockholders. I have not read or heard anything saying they're just, some of them are just like, absolutely not. We're not selling the company. Let's be honest. Most stockholders are like, do I get money? Okay, give me money. Like that's all they care about. Yeah. But EA will be purchased in 2027. So it's not even next year. It's the year after, by Silver Lake, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, and Affinity Partners. I do not want to be political on the show, but that being said, when it was pointed out on The Verge's website, it specifically read, and I'm going to make it bigger here.
Make it big now.
$55 billion EA buyout hands Madden over to investors, including Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner. Ooh, if you've forgotten who that is Trump's son-in-law. So, so this is who is looking at buying EA in 2027. The PIF already owns 10% of EA, so it's not like kind of like a situation we were talking about before the show. They've already got their fingers in it. They're just wanting to basically buy the rest of it. But apparently they also own part of Nintendo, Take-Two, and Capcom. And EA has had issues with layoffs.
SNK.
They've canceled Titanfall and Black Panther. And apparently they came out and said Dragon Age, the Veilguard is underperforming from what they originally wanted. So that being said, with all that going on, like I said, I haven't heard anything about people, saying, "Hey, we're not going to sell the company." But if they're not doing so well, the investors may be like, "Yeah, let's dump this thing and get going somewhere else." Oh, here we go. Born Distracted. First world problems. LOL. Absolutely born distracted.
This is coming from a guy who worships the OLED and constantly talks down to anyone that has an LCD screen. Remember? Just saying.
Ooh, okay. I'll have to remember that.
Yes, don't forget. That's Born Distracted's main claim to fame is his shilling, his constant shilling for the OLED.
For the OLED. Okay, fair enough. All right, Cyrus, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. Like, dude, I'm glad we don't immediately react to this stuff and we have a little bit of time to sort of process things.
Yeah.
There's been so many reactions from people. I had people in my Discord, mainly one of my friends on Discord, sort of like do devil's advocate, like arguing on Discord, and I sort of played along with it a little bit. Because I think that people have overreacted to a lot of this stuff. And I also think that there are legitimate reactions to all of this stuff that, if Electronic Arts, nobody likes Electronic Arts. Nobody. Everybody talks bad about Electronic Arts, and it's been that way for 20 years,
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to interject real quick. So I don't know about you.
Right.
For me, EA, of course, EA Sports. It's in the game. That's burned into our generation's brain.
Absolutely.
But for me, growing up, EA was primarily on the Genesis. They did make games for the Super Nintendo, but I specifically, and they made some awesome games. And I loved EA. And yet somewhere over time, when I kind of got stepped away from video gaming, my boys grew up and started playing games. And that's the exact sentiment that they know for EA. For us, EA used to be an awesome company. For them, EA is the devil. And that's what they keep getting reinforced online. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you saying?
No, that's totally the point. Like, EA was ahead of the curve on buying up studios and absorbing companies and firing non-producing or somewhat slightly maybe not even disappointing, sometimes just firing entire studios for no apparent reason, not supporting projects that they should have properly, Titanfall. But there's certain things that have happened with EA. They've run the Madden franchise into the ground, basically. It's been and they've ruled their monopoly on sports with an iron fist, forcing out companies like Take-Two and places that that did things like the NFL 2K series and stuff like that. It's EA sucks. EA is an evil empire, evil, and now, depending on what your viewpoint is, it literally is an evil empire. I'm just saying that some people might say that. This is but see, the thing is, what we were talking about off the show, I'm not going to get into too much of what we were talking about, but I will say this. This is not an exclusive EA kind of problem. Born Distracted says first world problems, right? This is happening all over not just the gaming industry, but every industry, this type of thing, buying up stuff, getting sold, crazy, firing a bunch of people that probably shouldn't have got fired, greed, trying to consolidate things into AI stuff. Like, there's just crazy stuff going on right now, and it's scaring the crap out of a lot of people. And this is just a taste of the future of what's coming. Like, these businesses. What's up, Luke? The man, Luke, is here. Luke, you must.
The numbers, Mason. The numbers.
Yes. I'm not saying it's aliens, but anyway. It's disappointing, but it's not surprising. This is what's happening everywhere. And to get bought out by this stuff going on with Saudi Arabia is very concerning. Okay, regardless of what your politics is, it's concerning. Okay, and this is just one country. I mean, guys, this is like a drop in the bucket compared to what's been going on with like real estate. Look into that. Look into what's been going on with the foreign entities in this country. I'm going to get into a bunch of nonsense if I don't shut up. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm not too much. By the way, Born Distracted said Luke is an EA shill. So for those of you, well, you know what? No one listens to this show. Everyone's watching. I mean, I guess maybe you could turn it on and you're doing something in the background or whatever. But anyway, he said Luke is an EA shill. Luke's Awakening. What's odd is that Jared Kushner has something to do with this company and this deal. Yeah, and like I pointed out earlier, the article on The Verge specifically listed him specifically. And who knows, it may be clickbaity type of thing. But anyway, here's my thing though. Obviously the company is not doing well because they have this horrible reputation. Things are, like I said, when I got back into gaming, it was very clear EA was evil empire. That being said, I hate companies when they go when they go public, because then they are at the mercy of their stockholders, and 9 times out of 10 all the stockholders care about is money. They don't care about long term, appreciating the customer. They don't care about keeping the quality of the product. All they care about is how can we make more money. Born Distracted. Did anyone care as much when Tencent did it?
I think people did really care because I heard a lot about it at the time.
Yeah,
but people, there's been so much that's happened, and people do have a short memory. That's a good point, though.
That is a good point. So, and actually, I started sharing it, but it was already old. It was already 2 or 3 years old. Cy and I both live here in Texas. And there are certain things that are very Texas. And one of those things that has really stepped up in the last few years as being really Texas is Buc-ee's. And you've probably seen people do videos where it's my first time going to a Busey's. Of course, they like to mispronounce it. But
a lot of people watching probably don't know what Buc-ee's is.
Okay, so Buc-ee's is a chain of gas stations. Now, this is going to sound really weird to you. It's a chain of gas stations that has really good barbecue and has hands down the best bathrooms you're going to find anywhere. Now, like I said, this is going to sound really weird. In fact, I should have found the clip and posted it. But anyway, their claim to fame is it's not just a normal gas station. Like, their gas station is like the size of a Walmart.
Yeah,
they have 100 gas pumps.
It's not to say it's a gas station is funny but
it technically is. But
it's a giant store. It's huge. It's like they have everything in there that you could even it's like a Walmart. It's crazy.
Yeah. Luke's Awakening. I cared more when 50 Cent did it, not 10 cent. Okay. Oh, gas stations. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't get the obsession with Buc-ee's. Here's the thing: if you are on the road and you got to stop to pee, you will hold it for a Buc-ee's. Because any other place you stop is hit or miss. It's like, man, am I going to go into this gas station? It looks like there was a murder happened here. They also have these huge bathrooms that are constantly being cleaned. Like, it is literally some of the cleanest bathrooms you're ever going to find. But here's the thing. Here's why I bring up Buc-ee's. They started off this interview they did on 60 Minutes a few years ago, where they're talking about it. They're talking about they've got all these gas pumps. They've got all of this, they've got these huge, super clean bathrooms. Even before COVID, they had signs up. Starting pay at Buc-ee's back in 2015, 2016 or whatever was $15, $16 an hour. That's for the cashiers. And like, that is, no one matched that at that time. Their higher level people, like flat out, they're just like, oh, if you're going to be a manager, you're going to make $130,000. It's like, shit, I don't make that. And and I've got degrees and stuff. They pay their employees really well. Their employees are also treated really well. Like every time you go into a Buc-ee's, they seem to be very happy. Like that is part of their thing. They're like, welcome to Buc-ee's. But they actually seem like they mean it. Whereas like when I've worked at places and they wanted us to say hi, it was just like, hi. They actually seem like they mean it. The guy that they got, when they decided to go into barbecue, they found a world-renowned barbecue guy that had won multiple awards, and he runs that thing. And anyway, as this interview goes on, they start talking about Buc-ee's is owned by two guys. One of them is very public. He's very out there. He's kind of the face of Buc-ee's. And the other guy's a private investor, and he doesn't want his name known. He's like, nope, you take care of stuff. But he specifically said, he's like, yes, we are a private company. We do not have, we don't have stockholders. So I don't have to answer stupid questions like, how can we improve profits? How can we make better margins? He's like, I don't care about any of that. I make enough money and I pay my employees so that they want to stay here and work. And I'm just like, that dude's got it. Which is why I bring it up. So going back to EA, could going private maybe help in that they can maybe focus on what they should be focusing on and not have to worry about stockholders?
It couldn't hurt. I mean, that's
a good point. I didn't think about that. It maybe couldn't hurt. So
it could hurt based on who's buying, the public thoughts about that and what that does. If there's an effect on the gaming choices that the company makes based on, what I'm saying is, there's some concern about what will happen to the content of the games that they produce.
Right. And I think that's what's eventually going to be the final saying it. Like if they come in and they're like, all right, well, we're buying the company. And then immediately like a month or even a week later, like, all right, listen, here's what's going on. We're cutting all this stuff because we don't think it's going anywhere. We're cutting a bunch of people or whatever. It's going to be like, oh, so y'all are selling it off for the parts or whatever. On the other hand, if they come in and they're like, hey, we're going to double down on this. We're going to try to rush this out. We're going to try to I think how they carry themselves will be the final testament as to whether or not this is good because honestly, what we care about, we don't really care about who's going to end up making a bunch of money on this. We care about it as gamers. That's all we care about. Are they going to make games that we want to play? Are they going to keep jacking up prices? What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
It could mean the end of DEI for EA. Yeah, that is very true.
Well, there's a concern that instead of DEI being a problem, you could have a whole different problem based on the influence of the investor.
That too.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, games could all of a sudden promote certain things or have certain agendas that gaming we might not be used to in the gaming space. You know what I'm trying to say? We'll just
that. I mean, if we start seeing a bunch of I don't know, maybe big mega churches that are advertised in the back of the Madden or whatever, be like, well, that's a choice. So, by the way, Luke's Awakening said, "I'll piss in a bottle. I don't care. Remind me not to go on any road trips with you, Luke."
That's a great line for a T-shirt, by the way.
I'll piss in a bottle. I don't care. Yeah. Just randomly, you just walk around with it. People will be like, "What?"
This big bottle, like a big plastic bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. It can mean, okay, we already commented that one. I think it'll mean a lot of people will lose their jobs. And unfortunately, that could be the first step. So it would be one thing. It would be one thing if they cut a bunch of people and they were doing really well, but I think we've already established that they're not doing so great. So born distracted by being private means less chefs in the kitchen, so to speak. Yeah, basically. So, oh, look, my son joined us. Well. He said he was going to do that. So he got on there. Sai, you make T-shirts. Get on it. Yep. So, hey, technically, I make T-shirts as well. You can find it at at the Epically Geeky site, including this one, the I Canada shirt.
I could do that, but I don't. I refuse to pay Luke royalties, so I will not be making
Luke's Awakening. Sims is the main thing keeping EA active right now. So, and I don't even know. Like, all I know is EA makes Madden. That's literally the only thing I know that they currently make. Like, I mean, I've been so far out of gaming, so
they make all the Star Wars games. They make
what Star Wars games? Because what was the last Star Wars game that came out?
The Outlaws or
okay, I guess that was that one a couple years ago. Yeah,
something I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, they do Madden. They do I don't know. The hell does it
exactly?
Need for Speed, I guess.
Right? Okay, I don't charge royalties. Hashtag fake news. Fair enough. So he said himself. But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a story. It's just, unfortunately, it's like this is just the breaking of the story. The real story will be in early 2027 when, if we're still doing this show, we're like, well, EA just cut like a third of their programmers or whatever, and slash like 4 games that were on the slot. You know,
honestly, I don't want to be. I'm really trying to not be sky is falling on this because we don't know what's going to happen. And I can tell you that we haven't been happy with what they've been doing. So if it's entirely possible, because it goes private, that the decision-making gets way better. It is entirely possible.
It is possible. Yeah.
Just because certain interests that we see in the public are involved, that doesn't mean that those interests are going to be bad custodians. You know, we don't know. So it's concerning, but I'm willing to be a little bit open-minded on this because I do like the idea of removing the shareholder aspect, because that's totally destructive to gaming. That's ruined gaming.
It's destructive to everything. At least, I will say this, at least the news story was not EA is being purchased by a what is it called? An investment firm? Because at that point I'd be like, all right, well, go ahead and just enjoy your EA games now, because it's going to end up like it's going to end up on the side of the road like Toys R Us, Joann's Fabrics, where they basically like they bought those companies to sell them off piece by piece. And as long as that wasn't the headline, I was like, well, this could be an interesting thing. So maybe this company bought EA so they could have games for a new console being built. No, I don't know. We'll see. Jared Kushner is a great guy. I have nothing but utmost faith in all the things he's involved in. You know what, Luke? Good opinion, man. I guess everyone has their own opinion. So
I'm sure that's 100% his legitimate opinion on that.
Yeah, I saw you. I was on the back, like, at least thank God Discord does not constantly ding you like, you know, some of the other chat things do, you know, unless they either hashtag, you know, or, you know, tag everyone or tag you specifically. Because I was doing some other stuff when our third story came up, and every time I looked over, it was like 20 new messages. I'm like, crap. All through, and I closed it down and went over, did something else for 5 minutes, come back, got 20 more messages. I'm like, wow, we kicked a hornet's nest on this one. Oh,
dude, yes, we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, third story is gonna be the big one. I'm not trying to get canceled. I don't want to be the next Kimmel. Yeah, no joke, Luke. So with that said, I guess let's go ahead and move on to our next story. And this one is just, like I said, I saw it. I thought, you know what, we're going to talk about it because we've talked about this quite a bit going on the show. So SAG-AFTRA responds to an AI actress. Now, Cyrus, if you had seen a picture of this young lady, would you think she was an AI generated character?
Nope,
I wouldn't either, because when I first saw the pictures, I was like, is this someone not happy about the situation? They're like, no, this is her. And I'm like, oh, they did a good job. So SAG-AFTRA is responding to reports that, and this is what's pissing them off. It's not the fact that she was created. It's the fact that over the last weekend, there are reports that talent agents are looking to sign this AI generated actress named Tilly Norwood. And this is what they said. And I have to say, the way this was phrased from SAG-AFTRA, I kind of agree with it. To be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It's a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers without permission or compensation. And at that point, I'm just like, damn, I kind of sound really right on that one. AI focused, the company that made it is an AI focused production company called Particle 6. And they revealed her this last summer on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So we're talking like social media stuff is where she was originally put out doing things. And so now it's like, okay, well, is she like, when you say sign, like, what are you talking about? Like putting her in a movie or a TV show? Because that's when I see SAG-AFTRA being like, whoa, hold the phone. And their response was, I see AI not as a replacement for people, but as a new tool, a new paintbrush. Just as animation, puppetry, or CGI open fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting, AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. And I was just like, okay, I mean, they didn't have a problem when it's like, if we're going to do a new movie, let's say we do a new Muppets movie, and they're like, hey, we're going to hire The Rock to be the new puppet. He's going to be the new Muppet, and he's going to be the Stone or whatever. And it's like, would they have a problem with him doing the voice acting for that? Like, I don't think they would bat an eye for that. But if they hired a real actress to play her voice, now if they're going to AI generate her voice as well, yeah, I could see where we're still in fishy water. So, any thoughts on this, Cyrus?
There was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where they put Data on trial because they were like, he's not a person.
I remember that. Yeah.
I think that's kind of what this is right here. This is like the entertainment industry version of that situation. Mm-hmm. We're going to lose this battle, guys. This AI thing is not going away. And I got news for you. This is just the beginning. Movies are all going to be AI. Like, it's coming. Video games too.
I don't think so. I think we're still going to want to see people act and do stuff.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, you think that because you're thinking in the old terms of things. The next generation that grows up is going to watch AI movies that they generate themselves and play AI video games that they generate. They're going to put in 2-3 words, make a game that's fun with the dog. And the AI will make them a whole game and they'll play it. And that's what they'll do. And they'll be like, make a movie with a really hot chick and a badass dude that's a war story. And it'll make a movie and they'll watch that. And that's, I'm trying to tell you, the reason that it will take over is because people will feel like they can generate whatever they want at any time at the, basically instantly. And it'll be cheap or free.
I do think there's going to be some of that. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I do think there's going to be some of that, though. On the other hand, I do think a lot of people, and who knows, we may even go through a wave of that. There may be even months or even years maybe where we go through that. But I think eventually people are going to be like, I can't talk to anyone else about this story. I mean, yeah, I created this really awesome show or whatever, but everyone else is doing their own thing. Why would they want to watch mine? Which kind of goes back to the thing you're talking about. But also there's no shared experience there. And I think that's going to be one of the things that's going to not make it, go so great. The other thing is even if the writing gets fairly decent, like I can come up with some ideas, but I can't come up with some of the shit that people come up with. I'm like, wow, that was a really good story. You probably have a much better chance of creating something that you're really going to enjoy than I am. And so I'm going to be more reliant on, I wonder what I made.
They're not going to care though, because they're not going to watch 2-hour movies. They're going to watch 15-minute movies. Like everything's going to be fast, easy, quick, super, like, I watched 10 minutes of this. All right, let's move on to something else. 5 minutes of this. That's enough. Play this game for 30 seconds. Okay, that's enough. New game, new movie. Like nobody's going to care about any of this. Like all the stuff that we care about, like artistic value, like the complexity of things, the depth of the story, is there all these different elements that we're thinking about, is because we come from a time where those things were important and were interesting to storytelling and were part of the experience. The next generation coming up, they're not going to have that frame of reference. To them, it's just going to be just garbage. Entertain me for as quick as possible for whatever, and what I don't even care. It's just garbage entertainment. It's already started. Kids these days are already falling into line with that. So the next generation, I'm telling you, like all the values that we have and what we think the entertainment industry is all going to go away. Like, it's sad. It sucks. I'm not happy about it, but AI is going to be what everything turns into, and it will happen faster than you think. And I know I sound very cynical, and you don't want to hear this because I don't want to hear this either, but that's the truth. That's where it's going.
I'm going to push back on that in just a second. Let's get caught up here real quick. Sorry. Luke's Awakening said the only Tilly I want is Jennifer Tilly. Fair enough. Luke, what is SAG? I thought it was Film Actors Guild. It's Screen Actors Guild. I guess I think they changed it so that film was just, movies, and now it's like all encompassing of everything. So if there's a screen, whether it be the big screen, whatever, they're all included now. So that's what it was in Team America. Fair enough. May AI can save Star Wars? I don't know. I mean,
sure.
Have I told you the craziest thing I've heard where someone was like, maybe we should give George Lucas another shot? And I'm just like, what do you mean? They're like, well, I mean, have you seen what's been coming out? Maybe George has some ideas. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we've turned the corner on the prequels, but I don't know if I'm quite ready to unless, okay, now if George wants to throw out ideas and we tinker with it, like we did the original movies, that's fine. But this whole idea, anyway, I'm going out rant here. Luke's Awakening. I don't see AI being used for actor replacements. I see AI being used rather than CGI. AI is actually realistic, looking much quicker and easier to create than CGI. And who knows? That might be the case. It may be, hey, we still want actual actors and stuff doing the stuff, but instead of having to have people do all the CGI work, just be like, hey, I just need take him, put him on a green screen, and now throw him in the middle of the battle or whatever. So that definitely could be a thing. So AI for scripts. Well, right now, no, because there's the SAG basically clamped down on that. That's what the whole last writer strike was about, was making sure they had some kind of, hey, you can use it, but you can only use it for a certain amount, and you have to have certain people in there. And they, basically clamped down on that a while back. Will be interesting on how it's going. The reason I want to push back on that a little bit, Si, is, like I said, I deal with a lot of younger people. And yes, they are definitely more prone to going through really fast. I will say this, and I've talked to several people, and even my boys have run into it. And I'm just like, what's up, man? He's just like, can we watch a movie? I'm like, why? They're just like, I'm doom scrolling, dad. It's just like, I'm tired of just like I want something that actually, is something interesting to watch. And so I know our generation's definitely that way. Like, I've gotten to the point that I set aside a certain amount of time that I will pull up, and I only do it on Instagram now. I pull up Instagram and I just kind of go through and just see what kind of funny things, usually memes that I can send to other people. But then that's it. Like, I've gotten so done with just like these little short things, especially because I sit there. If I do it and I go longer than I mean to, I'll look up and be like, well, shit, man, that was 45 minutes. I could have watched an episode of something that was actually good. Like, whereas, it's hit or miss or whatever. And I've talked to, some of the younger people in my group and everything. And yeah, a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them are preferring to go back to older games. They prefer watching older movies and stuff. So I think it's kind of like eating potato chips. And I get what you're saying, because there are some people that just like, they're fine with eating potato chips, day in, day out. But I think a lot of people, and it's not going to be everyone, it's just going to be a wide stretch of different people. We're going to have people, even the younger people, who are going to be like, yeah, I'm tired of this AI generated shit. I wanted something that actually, was thought out and actually done well. On the other hand, I do think it's going to keep, making it easier and easier and easier for people to create stuff. Apparently, Suno, Suno 2.0 came out and dropped yesterday, day before, whatever. You have to have an invite to get into it, but apparently it's pretty freaking legit. Like one of the first things when you log into it, it will ask you, do you want to be scanned? It has you read 3 or 4 words and take the camera and do like a front shot and a side shot or whatever. And then you are now allowing yourself, apparently you can pull it back, but you're allowing yourself to go out there and be put into other stuff. And some people have already done it, and it's like really freaking amazing. It's still only 10 seconds, but like in the case of, we've all seen those AI generated like Transformers in the 1950s. Like, what would that look? Those are fun to watch for a little bit, but overall, I mean, I still think there are going to be enough people that still want to see something that was done by other people that it's not going to go completely away. Now, do I think it's going to be impacted? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and be, stick my head in the sand and be like, nope, SAG's absolutely wrong. AI's not taking over. I'm not saying that. I do think it's going to have a major impact, but I don't think it's going to take over everything. And who knows? I may be completely wrong. If that's the case, then I probably should start collecting DVDs again.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen immediately, but I do think the ultimate outcome is everything's going to go AI. I really do feel like that might take 10 years. It might take 5 years. I don't know how long it'll take, but I mean, everything AI is being plugged into everything, like every company, like everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the advancements they've made on these videos and these songs and now the actors and actresses, and it's happening pretty fast.
Absolutely. One more point I want to bring up just to kind of push back is you and I have been doing podcasting or streaming or one of those terms for damn near 20 years, right? Like we've been doing this shit for a long time, right? Yeah. Okay. How many of our friends have come on and been on our shows and are no longer on our shows anymore? And the reason why I point this out is it's not because they're tired. It's not because they don't want to hang out with us. It's because they figured out at some point, I'm not a content producer. I'd much rather would just intake. And so, yeah, there's still going to be a lot of intakers, but I think going back to the whole thing of people are just going to make stuff for themselves, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are still going to be like, no, I don't care to make my own shit. I just want to see what people give. And then also another thought I just literally have is it might be kind of good if we do go through a period of that, because then maybe it will cause all these crybabies online that are like, well, this is the way that they should have ended that movie. All right, well, fucking make it yourself and see how well it turned out. And who knows, you may enjoy the ending, but it's going to be funny as shit when you start this is definitely the way Avengers should have ended, and put it out there and everyone's going to be like, dude, that sucks. Like, are you stupid? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That'll be great. That'll be entertainment. I may have to watch those reaction videos.
There'll be 15,000 people fighting each other who ended it the right way and why, getting into the absolute most minute details of nonsensical bullshit that doesn't matter at all.
Like Michael Jackson eating popcorn, just eating it up, be like, yep, y'all go ahead and just keep talking about how you think you were the best one. You carried the ultimate version or whatever.
You think you've seen Nerd Wars right now. You wait. Like when people can easily go in and do that kind of shit, the Nerd Wars will be it will be like
the apocalypse.
It will be the apocalypse
for nerddom. Yes. Sorry. Let's see here. Luke's Awakening. I think people will embrace it and flock to it, but then pull back. I think about self-checkouts, for example. People at first embraced them, but now they're sick of them. That's actually a really good example. Yeah, people didn't. And what's funny is you're looking at two guys on the screen right now that are on opposite ends of that. I think I am 100% self-checkout. Like I am all about it. What about you, Cyrus?
I don't want to do that. I don't like. Funny. I don't like. Why do I have to do that? What, I've never understood the self checkout thing. It's just me. I don't
have to talk to people.
Yeah, but I don't want you eyeballing me thinking I stole something because I'm checking out shit that you're not checking out because you don't want to pay somebody. Like,
maybe that's me. Maybe I'm just not self-conscious about it. I'm like, no, I scan everything, so I'm not worried about it. If anyone wants to come ask me about it, be like, here's the receipt. Go ahead and check my bag.
Exactly. Luke says, I don't get paid to scan my own groceries.
And that's fair too. Does Eugene like to push back? Sometimes.
Ooh.
Let's see here. Don't put words into my mouth. I don't want to hang out with you. For Luke's awakening. I don't get paid to scan my own groceries. No, that is fair. And I've heard a lot of people say that. In fact, I think our buddy Lou actually just posted something or other about Walmart's going to be closed on Thanksgiving or something so that all the people who self-checkout can have the day with their families. And I'm just like, damn it. So Lou. I'm Team Cy on this topic. And you know what? That's fine. You know, I get it. Like I said, I'm almost always prefer.
Why do you want to hang on? Let's explore this for a second.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Why do you want to scan your groceries?
Because I don't. Okay. So, now there's two different, I've had to make sure I define this real quick. Okay.
All right.
When I go to the grocery store, I'm buying maybe 10 things max. That's it. That's all I'm buying. Okay. Because Christy and I use the Walmart like checkout system or whatever online. So what we do is usually on a Friday or Saturday night, depending on, when we need groceries, Friday or Saturday night, we walk around the house. Usually it's me, walk around the house, and we go into the app and we put in everything that we want. And then the next morning I go pull up and tell it in the app I've arrived, and they bring all my groceries out and they put it in the back of my car, and then I drive off. So
but that's a totally different thing.
Okay, no, but what I'm saying is 95% of my groceries are collected that way. Okay. So when I do go to the grocery store and, we forgot butter and we need something else, I'm only checking out with 5, maybe 10 things. So for me, scanning that myself, I can do it quickly. I know how to do it. It's fine. Now, if I wasn't doing that and I was doing all 70 or 80 things that I bought for the week or whatever, however it is, then no, I would not be self-checking out because that would be a nightmare. So I get you on that. I totally get you on that. But like I said, Christy and I also use the order system or whatever to buy stuff. If I wasn't doing that, then yes, I would probably prefer someone else to check it out because you would hope, granted, like HEB still does this, but you would hope that there would be one person to check out, one person to bag because they can get the stuff done. Of course, if we're talking Walmart, that of course is not going to happen because they don't want to hire anyone to check you out in the first place. But yeah, to me, self-checkout takes jobs away from people. I've talked to people who work at Walmart and no, because essentially what they do is, okay, well, you're no longer going to be on checkout. You're now going to be doing something else.
Yeah. Those are the people that are getting your order together that you made on your phone. Right.
And I've talked to those people and I'm like, hey, so can I ask a question? And they're just like, when I first started doing this, I was like, hey, I hate to be blunt about this, but like, am I supposed to tip? And they're like, no, you're not supposed to tip. And we are not allowed to accept tips. And I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure, cause I don't want to be that douchebag that doesn't tip if it's expected. And I asked, I was like, so did you get this job for this? Or he's like, no, I used to work checkout. He said, now I do this. And I'm like, well, which do you prefer? He goes, I prefer this 100 times over. He's like, I don't have to deal with crazy ass people that are like, no, that's 10 cents and you wrote it up as 15 and you need to go back. He's like, I don't have to deal with any of that shit. I literally have a thing on a digital device. I walk up and down the aisles and I put stuff in a bag. And he's like, that's all I got to do. And so they actually prefer it. Now, have some people lost jobs? Yeah, maybe. But give it a shot. Like, go talk to the people and like actually ask them, like, hey, would you prefer this? Would you prefer that? What's going on? So, we got a bunch of comments here. Let's see here. Luke's Awakening, self-checkout to me only works when I have a couple of items and I want to get out quickly. Walmart used to have people working express lanes, but no one went through there with only 10. No shit, Luke. Like it always, you're standing in line. And this is the other thing. Like, this is the other reason I like self-checkout. I don't have to deal with the overly friendly people. I get it. They probably told you to be friendly, but I really don't want to have to. So how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing all right. Okay. Well, I see you're buying cat food. How many cats you got? I don't want to go. I just want to give you money and I want to go. And they're talking to everyone and you're standing there and you're just like, okay, how much longer till we get to my turn?
All right, but
that's definitely not 10 items in your bag there, dude.
But in the self-checkout, you're standing there waiting for one to open up. What's up, John? Retro Bros here.
Retro Bro, what's up, dude?
You're standing there and waiting for a register to open, and these people are taking one thing, looking at it, scan the one thing, put it in a bag, then they grab one more thing, scan it, put it in a bag.
Oh no, I get it. I get that too. I've gotten behind those people. Those are the same people that you remember Redbox?
I do, yes.
I used to enjoy Redbox, but only if the people in front of me had the app, because there was nothing more infuriating than going through the app and going, "Oh, I'm going to get Paul Blart 3, Super Cop or whatever," and I go to pick it up, and I know what it is. And all I have to do is just go in there and hit the button and I could get it. But nope, it never failed. There was a couple that got up there in front of me. And when you see the guy lean, fuck, I'm going to be for 15 minutes. Well, you want to rent? No, I don't want to rent that. I already seen that. No, go. What else is there? And just like,
dude, one of the last times I tried to use Redbox, there was these two girls, maybe like 12, 13 years old. And they're looking at the thing and I'm standing there. And they're looking at the thing, and then one of them says something to the other one, then one runs off through the parking lot to a car where the mom is sitting in the car, says something, runs back, communication, do something. Oh, time to run back to the car again to ask mom. And I was just like, no, that's not what I'm doing.
Yes. And see, and I've gotten that too at the self-checkout. You get there and they're, like you said, they have to look at it and they're thinking, did I really want to get this one? I don't know. Or they're like, where's the barcode on it? It's like,
yeah,
the barcode's in the same place it always is.
Yeah.
It's on the back of the bottom. It's always there.
Dude, none of this is a problem though. If you go to the register where they just grab all your shit and scan it.
Unless you want to sit there and talk to the person for 15 minutes.
You don't have to talk to the person.
Then you're rude.
Well, then be rude.
No, I'm not going to be rude. Retro Bro, you think not having on register would free people up to unlock a pair of headphones for me? No shit.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're talking about.
Good luck.
No shit, dude.
Good luck with that. Yes.
Yeah. Hello, sir, bro. The game maker. Let's see here. Luke's awakening.
John
never enforces that shit. All they had to do was enforce it. Yeah. If all they needed, sorry, sir, that's 12 items. Move along.
Yeah. John makes games. That's what he's talking about. He makes Nintendo games.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
Yeah.
Remember the Blockbuster Redbox wannabes? All those lasted no time. Oh yeah, I remember that. You want to talk about a company that was so far, they completely missed the boat.
They had their head up their own ass until it was too late, and then they were like, "Oh, we should do that." Yeah, you should have done that like 4 years ago. Good luck, and it was too late.
Didn't I hear something like they had the chance to buy? Like they had the chance to buy Netflix at one point and passed on it. And then I think I heard they also had the chance to buy Redbox and passed on it. It was just
sure they did.
That would have kept y'all going for at least another 5 or 6 years. But
Sears had the same thing with Amazon,
Oh yeah.
And they blew it. They blew it.
Yep. So yeah, the Blockbuster. I think I've only ever seen one of the Blockbuster.
I remember
in real life. They for every 1,000 red boxes, there was one Blockbuster one. So.
I saw one. I think you're right, like one. Maybe we probably saw the same one.
Probably. So, but yeah. So anyway, that was the second story. Like I said, I just kind of threw that one on there because the third story just broke yesterday. And had I not already started putting the show together, I probably would have even dropped the second AI story because it's an okay story. I mean, it's AI. We're going to keep talking about it as time goes by. But anyway, so let's talk about our third and last story for the
I'm just going to enjoy my Xbox while you talk about this.
All right. Well, okay, cool. So, so the third and final story for the evening, and I'm sure no one in the chat has anything to say about this at all. I'm sure this doesn't affect any of these guys. So yeah, some little story broke. Xbox updates Game Pass. They're calling it now Essential, Premium, and Ultimate, and essentially that is now Core is now Essential, Standard is now Premium, and Ultimate is now Ultimate. But they also increased the prices. Now here's the thing. Initially when I was reading this, I saw something that they doubled the price of Ultimate. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Now, I wasn't paying $15 for my Ultimate, but we'll get to that in a second. But anyway, yeah. So here's what they have, and what's funny is on their website, there's some graphics I'm going to put up here in a second, so we can kind of go through it. But they had a graphic for Core and Ultimate, but their graphic for Standard was messed up, and I couldn't download it. And I was just like, "What the hell's going on here?" So anyway, let's take a look. So Essential, the Core, the $10, $9.99, the $10 version has 50 plus games, PC, console, and cloud. Play and earn up to $25 a year in store with credits, in-game benefits, unlocked cloud gaming, online console multiplayer. Yeah, like, okay, if you just need to be able to play online, $10 a month, I guess it's not that bad.
It's still twice as much as Xbox Live Gold used to be.
And when you brought that up, like, you want to talk about hit me in the face with a realization. I was just like, oh yeah, I remember. Wasn't it actually supposed to be $60, but then everybody hunted and found like the $50 coupon? Like, it was just like,
it was originally 50, and then
was it 50?
Yeah, and then
then maybe I was getting it for 45 or so, because I remember hunting and you always found the deal for like 5 or 10 off or whatever. So yeah. Born distracted. I lost interest with Xbox. Oh, fair enough. So, but yeah, so that's now what used to be the Core plan. You're going to get moved up to the Essential plan. And then the next plan up is the Premium plan. Like I said, I couldn't find a nice, pretty graphic for it, so I just had to, grab this one. So this is now $15.99, 200 plus games now playing on PC, console, and cloud, which is something else I need to comment. I think someone made the comment somewhere that it looks like they got rid of just the PC Game Pass. And that's what my boy was on.
It's now part of that. It's that.
Yeah, so now it's all incorporated into it. It's all mixed in together, because you could just buy the PC version and not have to worry about it. Let's see here. Trev's Random Reel. Greetings from Waterford, Ireland, and time to go back to retro gaming. Won't miss Game Pass. Fair enough, Trev. Yeah, there's a lot of retro gamers that are currently here, so you're in good company.
Can I say something extremely American and extremely cringe to our Irish friend?
Oh geez, go ahead.
Top of the morning to you. Sorry, don't take that the wrong way. We're
please don't take that the wrong way.
We're all friends here.
Like and subscribe. So anyway, 200 plus games now playable on PC, console, and cloud. $14.99 a month. New Xbox publishing games within a year of launch. Unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times. In-game benefits including Riot Games, online console multiplayer. Play and earn up to $50 a year in store rewards. And then finally, we have Ultimate, which didn't change the name. By the way, Trev said top of the morning to us too. So good deal. So Ultimate Xbox, 400 plus games, PC, console, and cloud, 75 plus day one games a year, including all Xbox published games day one. Yeah. Fortnite Crew coming November. Ubisoft Plus Classics, EA Play, unlimited cloud gaming at our best quality with the shortest wait times, online console multiplayer, in-game benefits, and play and earn up to $100 a year in the store with rewards. So the reason why I commented that this story actually impacts me is I stopped playing Xbox a while back. I wasn't playing, so I'm just like, why would I pay for Game Pass? So I canceled my subscription quite a while ago. On the other hand, I've got two 13-year-old boys, and they both had Xbox Series S at one time, and one of them sold his, and he's gone down the PC route. Even though I kept telling him, don't chase that dragon, but he's gonna end up chasing that dragon. He's telling me, Dad, I'm not chasing the dragon. I'm like, sure. So what's the new video card that came out? And he can just rattle it off, and I'm just like, You already know in the back of his brain, he's already thinking, well, if I upgrade this, I'm gonna have to do this. Anyway, we know the struggle. The struggle. So anyway, like he was, Nicholas was on Game Pass Ultimate, and Alex was on the PC version. And so I told them about this story last night. I was like, hey guys, so by the way, Xbox is doing this. They're like, yeah, we saw something about it this morning before we went to school, blah, 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 because they're not allowed to have their phones out at school. And they're just like, yeah, I've heard about some of this stuff. I'm like, well, we need to sit down and talk about this and figure out what we want to do. And so last night, sat down, looked at it, I was like, all right, Alex, come here. And I was like, all right, so, and what I did was I pulled this up. Let me do this. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so here's the site talking about it. Like I said, there's that main graphic. Oh, look, they fixed the one for premium. That one wasn't working yesterday. But anyway, and there's the one for ultimate. But anyway, and then here's the breakdown of the games. And so we literally started off at the very bottom here, and they're just like, is it just those 4 games? I'm like, no, apparently it's more than just these 4, but here's the list of the 4. And so we went through and I was like, do you see any games that are on here that you have to have this game? And Alex flat out told me, he said, Dad, I own all the games that I'm playing. He said, I don't really need Game Pass. And I'm like, all right, well then cool. Then we're going to go ahead and just cancel your subscription. If you figure out you're missing something, let me know. But he does literally, he owns pretty much all the games he plays.
Well, dude, for $30 a month, I mean, they put games on sale all the time. And if you bought 1 or 2 games on sale every month in a year, you've got, 20 games or
he's
whatever.
On Steam now, Cyrus.
Well, I'm just saying
he doesn't care about Xbox. He's not going to find the game cheaper than he's going to find it on Steam.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, if you played on Xbox and you didn't really play multiplayer.
Well, like I said, but Alex is just on PC. Alex is just PC, right? Yeah. And he owns all of his games. So, like I said, we canceled his subscription. And then I was like, all right, let me talk to your brother. So I pulled Nick out. I was like, hey, Nick, go through these game lists and see if there's anything you want to play. And he gets to looking and he keeps looking. And the only game he pointed out on here was, is it Assassin's Creed? No, it wasn't Assassin's Creed. What the hell was it? Oh, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. And I was like, well, how much is that? And he's like, it's $40. And I'm just like, so for 3 months worth of paying for this instead of the other version, you could own it outright. And he's just like, yeah, that's true. So what I did was last night I canceled Alex's PC version and just completely got rid of it. And then Nick's I downgraded from Ultimate to Premium. And in the end, it's ended up saving me $20 a month for now. And I have a feeling at some point Nick's probably going to be like, oh, hey, something came out. I'd like to, can I bump back up or whatever? Now, the other thing that I got to looking at was at some point, Nick had a subscription to, what is that called? Where is it? Fortnite Crew. And I think that subscription's like $12 or whatever. Well, if you look at it, like if you are doing the Fortnite Crew, you're already paying $12.99. It kind of makes sense to cancel that and then go ahead and upgrade to Ultimate. And it would basically be a wash price wise, but I'm sure that's only specific people. Of course, then again, if you're into Fortnite enough that you're paying for Fortnite Crew, you're probably not playing the other 400 games that are on Game Pass. Yeah. Cause that's how Fortnite gamers tend to be. Like that's what they play. That's what they do.
That's a good point.
But if you are one of those few people that have been paying for Crew, I think Ultimate makes total sense. I just don't know how much overlap that is. But what I was going to say originally going back was I originally saw people saying that, oh, they doubled the price for Ultimate. I don't know. Maybe I was getting screwed, but when I was looking at Nick's account, like I was paying $19.99 for Ultimate. I wasn't paying $14.99. So this went up 50%, not double. And like I said, maybe I just was getting
screwed. No, it did. It went up 50%. It didn't go up.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, that would be from $20 to $30. So,
right. Yeah.
All right, Cyrus, I have talked a lot.
Well, from the discussions that we've been having about this and from watching other people's videos, it's been wild. You see your typical, I see a lot of YouTubers talking about this and there's people that typically talk a lot of crap about Xbox. And of course they're saying what they're saying, Mm-hmm. What's been actually, depressing to me is I've seen a lot of my friends that are big time Xbox people, Fonzarelli Gaming and Colt Eastwood and some other people, finally kind of just talk like, oh, and Potion Sword Run, it's another friend of mine, James. If you're not familiar with him, he's got you would really like his channel, Eugene.
Okay.
But he's a diehard Xbox guy, and these people are talking about canceling their stuff, canceling Game Pass, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
He's not the only one, because this was posted by IGN later on yesterday. Game Pass subscription pages go down as users try to cancel due to price hike. So,
can you imagine how many people must have been canceling for that
in order to break down their server? Yeah,
dude. And this is why you said something interesting. You said, "Do you think they're going to walk this back? Like, are they going to stick with this, or are they going to say, "Oh, we were only kidding. Like, it was a joke. Like, it was a prank, bro. It was a prank." Yeah. And I think
October Fools.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're going to have to walk it back because the bad publicity has been so. I mean, and here's the thing about that, Eugene. Here's the thing. They just finished bragging about how profitable Game Pass was and how much money it was bringing in and how it was sustainable for the future. And they made all these claims about Game Pass, like, because everybody had been saying, is this sustainable? Well, I had a lot of concerns, and they're like, no, it's making money more than ever. We're profitable beyond belief. It's doing all these great numbers, and here's the stuff to show that. And then not even a couple weeks go by since they were talking about this, and they jacked the price up 50%. And don't have any. I mean, they have some. They send out some unknown girl to do a video about this that nobody knows who she is or even never seen her before, and they put it on her to be the face of this.
Oh, that sucks.
It's such a shitty thing to do. Can you imagine? I'm finally going to get my big break, guys. Everybody watch. I'm going to be the face of the Xbox announcement. It's going to be awesome. Tune in. This will be great for my resume.
Yeah. They basically put her out to slaughter.
Yeah, dude. Man. They John McCain'd her. They walked her out in front of the firing squad. They must have hated her. That's horrible. But anyway, I'm sorry. What did Trev say?
Oh, he was saying, what games would you want to play from Ubisoft? Only one I have interest in maybe would be Hogwarts Legacy. No interest in Fortnite game. Yeah. And see, I mean, it is there's a lot of there are a lot of games on here. Like, I don't want to poo-poo it, but it's like, but then again, it's like, if you're interested in these games, great. By the way, the last Assassin's Creed I played was 2, and I love that game. That was a fantastic game. And I'm just like, my God, have they literally been pumping one out like every year, or have I been that far away from video games?
Yeah, pretty much every year. Yeah.
What the hell, man? There's so many Assassin's Creed games.
There's a lot.
So
let me ask you a hypothetical question. I don't know what the price for, because we don't have Blockbuster anymore. We don't have a lot of the places where you rent games and stuff. But what do you think is a fair price? That you think is a fair price for renting a game, like a modern game, a new game that's out, like a new Call of Duty or something. Like, what do you think would be a fair price to rent a game that you're interested in?
Man, like, I'm trying to think, because back in the day, it used to be like, what, $3 at Blockbuster or whatever, something like that for a couple of nights. And then I know, like, whenever Redbox had games, you could rent games from Redbox. And I want to say they were like $5 or something.
$5, right?
$5, I think. But then I'm also thinking, I did GameFly. Do you remember GameFly?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I did GameFly for a while. The problem I had with GameFly was they never had, like, you made that list of games that you wanted to play, and like my first, I don't know, 6 or 7 were never in. I always got like number 8, and I was just like, yeah. Now I did find some awesome games that way. Like, I will never forget. What the hell was that? Horrible movie, fantastic. X-Men Origins Wolverine. That game was fantastic. The movie sucked, but that game was fantastic. And the only reason I played it was because I just kind of ran. I was like, I'll just throw this on there, and all of a sudden it showed up in the mail, and I was just like, oh, yeah, this is a decent game. So, let's see here. The Assassin's Creed games are all, I think, with Ubisoft. Well, I kind of have a soft spot for Rayman. Oh no, Rayman games are awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah, no, but buy them. Like, look at GameFly prices. Game Pass would still be cheaper. Is GameFly still a thing?
It is still a thing.
Yeah. Is it still a thing? Oh my god.
Well, I have a point about this.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
That's okay. It's okay. I asked you a question. My point being, how many games would you rent in a month? Like, how many games would you rent in a month? Like, do you think? Because how much time do you have to play games?
Really? Oh, see, okay, this is going to greatly depend on who we're talking about. Because like, if we're talking about me, none. I wouldn't rent any games. Like, there might be some. No, I'm not even going to say that. There would have to be something really big that I'd be like, all right, I might try to rent it or whatever. But I'm horrible. I'm not the right person to look at this. Alex plays games constantly, but he only plays 2, 3, maybe 4 games, really. And like I said, he already owns all of his. So Nick would be the one to ask, because my Nick is the one that is like, I'm going to play this for a while. I'm bored of that. I'm going to move on to something else. So he would be the one that I think, and this is why if he did tell me, Dad, I think I'm missing some stuff, because we bump up to Ultimate, I wouldn't really sweat too much doing that.
Well, it's a totally different kind of thing than Game Pass, though, because if you remember, back in the day when we used to rent games, you would rent 1 or 2 games, and usually it was just one game, because you're renting it and you want to spend as much time on it as you can before you have to take it back. So you would get your 1 game, maybe your 2 games, and you would play the shit out of them for 2 days or 3 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then you would take it back. And then it might be another week or however long before you're renting another game. But you're right. If it's a good enough game, you're not renting it. You're buying it.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's kind of tough to quantify, like, these things, these services that they have, as compared to what we used to do back in the day, so to speak. But I think it really comes down to, Game Pass is $360 a year to have this.
And see, if you look at it month per month, $30 is like, okay, well, if I'm not like watching, if I'm not paying for Netflix and Hulu and all this other stuff, I think that's fine. But then, like you just said, when it's $30 a month and it's $360, it's like, that's the price of a well, not before they raise the prices, but that's the price of a whole console. Like, that's rough, man.
It is rough. And if you do it like, well, I'm just going to do it 1 month and then I won't do it for another 6 months and then I'll do it for another month. That could be a fun experience, but it's still $30. You're dropping $30 to rent games for that month. And they put games on sale all the time. Like I said, right now it's October and all the services are running sales on their games, and you can pick up some AAA big games for like $5, $10. If you get games on sale, you'll own them, you'll buy them, and you'll have them. And then, when they're on sale, you pick them up $5, $6, $7, $10 for $30. That might be 5 games that you can get that you'll own. And how long is it going to take you to play through those 5 games? Are you going to play through them all in a month, or is it going to take you longer than that? Look, I'm not going to crap on people that want to do this. Like, if you want to do Game Pass and that's how you think is the right way to spend your money and you think you're getting a good value for that, more power to you. Play your video games, have fun, do your thing. But don't talk to people in such a way where you're trying to tell people they have no right to be upset about this. Don't tell people, why are you complaining? It's only $10 more or whatever. Yeah, but it's $30. It's $30 for a rental service. And people were justifying it for $20. And they were saying, okay, $30 is more. It's $30 and now it's starting to make people think about it more. And they're like, wait a minute, what am I doing with this money? Because in 2 months, that's the price of a full new game, basically.
Yeah.
And that would be 6 games a year that are brand new games if I bought full price games. Or for $360, how many games can you get if you buy games on sale? That's the other thing. Dude, you can get a lot of games.
You can get a lot of games.
And I'll tell you what.
Go on.
I just want to say real quick, a lot of these games they're adding to the service are old and they're cheap. They're not full price games. And you can get most of them very affordably. Like, you know, that $30 would go a long way. That's all I'm saying.
That would be interesting. Not that I'm going to do it, but that would be interesting to go through and look at the number of games and roughly what their non-sale price is and see like how much it breaks down to, because that may even be another way to slice it. Be like, well, I'd literally be buying this game for pennies instead of whatever. So, or, you know, renting it essentially. So, but those games aren't on the newest, but those sales aren't on the newest games, but Game Pass has them. And I'm also, like I said, I'm also the wrong person to talk about this because I've pretty much decided I'm a retro gamer at this point. Like I've got games that are, I'd say new. They've been out for a while on the Switch that I haven't even finished, which is unheard of for me, especially a Mario game. A Mario game that I have not finished is younger me would like storm in this door right now and beat the hell out of me and be like, what are you doing? But yeah, I kind of get it.
You know what this made me think about? I wish Picky Old Gamer was on here because me and Picky Old Gamer used to harp on this Game Pass thing all the time. We talked so much about Xbox. And we're fans of Xbox. People maybe don't believe that, but you know, I'm very critical because I know how great it can be when Microsoft does the right stuff. And I've felt like Game Pass was the wrong thing for a long time. But okay, everybody has a different take on it. I know we have other friends that think that Game Pass is like the greatest deal ever and whatever they were saying about it. But it would be nice to get Picky's thoughts about this because I know he has a lot, or he's had a lot, you know, when he was talking about this stuff. But dude, like, I mean, to be fair, I actually don't have services anymore. I canceled my Nintendo Switch Online service, which by the way, a fraction of the cost of any of this, and they give you a shit ton of games, especially retro games on their service.
$50 a year.
$50 for a year, and that's the premium version.
Yeah, because I just got hit with that in September, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm still paying for this? Oh, okay." And then I was just like, "Well, even if I cancel it, I still have it for a year." But I'm just like going back to the retro thing because, like you said, there's a lot of old games on there. It's like it's kind of nice to be able to pull up a Switch and be like, "Oh, hey, let me go play Streets of Rage on the Genesis thing." So,
yeah, for $360 a year, you could probably buy another Switch and the Switch Online service every year.
That's crazy. Real quick, let's get caught up here real quick. Trev's Random Reel. I remember renting Metal Gear Solid from a DVD store, PlayStation back in the day. Okay, I've got a quick story about that one. So yes, I remember renting Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation as well, and I got stuck, and I was just like, "What? Who? I cannot. What do I do here?" And it's because, you know, they put it in a clear plastic box, and, you know, it has no manual or anything on it. And I can't even remember how I figured this out. I think I looked it up on very early internet at this time. And it's like, oh, because you have to have the code that's on the back of the jewel case, the code that he's using to contact whatever, you have to have that. So I literally got in my car, drove to Hastings where I rented the game, went over, found the thing, like had a piece of paper, wrote down the code, went back to my house and was just like, okay, cool. So I'm good. But yeah, I will never forget that with Metal Gear Solid. I was just like, wait, you have to have the jewel keys to find this damn code?
You remember they had the controller would shake?
Yeah. You had to unplug it from port 1 into port 2 to beat Psycho Mantis. Yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Sai is a diplomat. Yes, Sai can be a diplomat when he wants to be.
I've been called worse.
Sorry. Luke's awakening. That's why I think the only smart thing to do is wait until there are several newer games on there and sign up for a month and beat them. Dude, that's what a lot of people do with streaming services. It's like, why would I pay for 3 months of HBO when I can just wait till the season is done, get it for a month, you know, shotgun that shit, done, and move on. So I never sign up to do every month. There's no reason to do that. I mean, it just depends on the type of gamer you are. So Last Line. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Last Line. Everyone's saying hi to Last Line. So they didn't put the code on the internet and just like literally
98 or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't put the code on there. They're just like, no, go find the jewel box. I'm just like, shit. Because I thought about it, like I used to work at Hastings. That's why I rented it there. And I was just like, man, if we lose this jewel case, like some of these people are going to be screwed.
This is a good point, Last Line, because I do have it digitally on my PS3. I wonder what they do, because you do get a manual. Maybe I'll have to look at that. They have a digital manual on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm pretty like I remember specifically it was on the back of the double jewel case, because remember it was 2 disc. Yes. So that was a thick jewel case. What's your favorite retro game? Question you both. Oh man, I'm going to say right now, because it's spooky season. Probably, and I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this. Rondo of Blood. I'm fucking
wow.
Like I cannot believe how good that game is, and how like you were so right, Si, because I was just like, is it okay? So a little bit of backstory here. I think this is before we started doing streaming. I was working on a Raspberry Pi at the time, and I could not get it to play PC Engine CD games. Like PC Engine worked great, but the CD games would not work. And I'm like, Si, why is this not working? He's just like, it's the same emulator. They just changed the medium. I don't understand why it's not working. And so we went through it. And long story short, too late. He had to send me his not the ROM files, but the emulator files. And when I got them from Si, I looked at it, I was like, these are like twice as big as the ones that are on the thing. So sure enough, I dumped them in there. Game worked great. Because I was so frustrated at one point. I literally sent Si a message and was like, besides Rondo of Blood, is there anything really worth playing on PC Engine CD? And the way he put it, he's like, it's like you walked into my church and shit on the floor.
I was like, how dare you ask me this question? Like, the audacity. Do you know who I am?
Dude, but I was so frustrated. I was like, why isn't this working? So anyway, right now I have to say, and when you were playing it on your stream the other day, Si, was that yesterday or whatever, or last night? By the way, dude, go to bed.
I know.
Like I got notification last night. I'm going to bed and it's like, Si, it's now streaming. I was just like, fuck, man, go to bed.
I do things the way I want to do things.
I know you do. But anyway, you were playing it and I was just like, yeah, I need to play that again. I always go back and play certain Castlevania games when it's spooky season, just because I love that franchise. And that is definitely now up in the list. Like I always played, I mean, necessarily beat them, but I'd play Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. And of course I had to play some 4. And then usually I would try to find, depending if I had access to it, some Symphony of the Night. But I'm like freaking Rondo of Blood is definitely on that list now. So
yeah. I don't know.
What's your favorite right now? What are you digging right now?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if Rondo is better than Symphony, but they're the same. It's like part 1 and part 2 are the same thing. So whatever. What is my favorite? The question is, what is my favorite retro game? Like,
what's your favorite retro game?
Just one game out of everything retro.
What are you digging right now?
Wow. I mean, this is what a horrible question to ask.
Okay, while he's grinding on this, I'm going to bring up something. So we used to do a show on the old website called One Man Asylum, and I shut it down. That was all on me. There's a lot of history with that. We're not going into it right now. But anyway, when my boys got a little bit older and we rebooted the show, one of the things I was like, okay, when we start off the show, we're going to have an opening question, because we're going to do a cold start. It'll kind of help get everyone in the mood, get everyone going or whatever. And so literally episode 1 of the rebooted Epically Geeky show, I ask a question and this man's brains just melted out. Oh man, I don't know if I can. And like, I'm just like, it's a simple question. Just come on.
It's not a simple question.
And then as soon as I finally dragged an answer out of you after like 10 minutes, all right, Lewis, what is your whatever? And he did the same damn thing. And at that point I was just like, no, from now on it's either or. And we did that for a year. Opening question was either or. I could not leave an open answer.
I'm going to tell you, before you said Rondo of Blood, I was going to say Rondo of Blood.
Because well, didn't say Rondo of Blood.
But I don't.
It's a good game. It's a fantastic game.
Probably Rondo of Blood, maybe Lords of Thunder, but it's a TurboGrafx game, whichever one it is, because that's my favorite console. And is TurboGrafx better than Sega Saturn? I don't know.
We're not comparing. We're talking about
right,
what is
exactly.
player now.
Favorite doesn't necessarily mean better. That's
no, absolutely not. Yeah.
So Rondo of Blood, sure.
Because I'm sure my favorite's going to change the next time I find a game that's like really awesome that I haven't played, or even a game that I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot how awesome this game is.
From day to day, I get in moods, and I'll, like I could be like, nah, Castlevania 4,
yeah,
or
which is still the shit. Yeah,
it's fucking awesome, especially the Japanese version.
Yeah, last line, the BIOS. Yeah, so the BIOS so if you are into Raspberry Pis, which by the way, I've got a whole rant on that right now. But anyway, if you're doing the Raspberry Pi retro gaming stuff, you have an option of doing Emulation Station or I think it's called RetroBox. Do RetroBox because that is fantastic. It's all inclusive. I mean, a lot of people say, well, you can't do as much stuff as you can with the Emulation Station. You're right, but it does everything that I want to do, and it has been nothing but like I dump games into it and it works. It doesn't ever kick back like Emulation Station does. And whatever it is, even with the brand, like the current version of downloading and setting up a Pi, the BIOS for PC Engine is not good. It will only do the cards. It will not play the CD games for whatever reason. That doesn't make any damn sense either. So,
yeah, can I just say real quick? I've known people that never played the CD games, that only played the turbo chip games, and they thought that's what it was. They were like never even knew about the CD stuff. And when I introduced them to the CD stuff, it was like open, like the meme where the guy goes.
Yeah,
it was like
because okay. So, and the reason why I bring this up is I have a Raspberry Pi set up on my. I set it up here originally before I set up this PC, so it lives at my office at work, and it just like goes through and plays. It goes through all the games and plays like a little bit of it or whatever. Well, it's spooky season, so I changed it to Rondo of Blood, and just sitting there watching that game, I'm just like, I mean, if you really looked at it closely, you can definitely tell it's not, PlayStation level. But if you just glance at it, you're like, damn, is this a PlayStation game? It looks so good and it plays so good. But yeah, the BIOS on this is messed up. Born Distracted Luke, did you click the like button? That's like asking who your favorite kid is. Yeah, for Cyrus, that is like asking who his favorite kid is. No, why would I do that? If you have more than one anyway, let's see here. I clicked it for Luke, the like button. Thank you. Travis Random. Mine would be Revolt, Dreamcast, or original Resident Evil. OG Resident Evil. That's what sold me on the PlayStation.
I played through that not that long ago on the Saturn. I played the director's cut or whatever on the Saturn. Dude, you got to go back through the original sometime. Like if it's been a long time, it's so nostalgic to go back through it. And don't get me wrong, that newer one that they brought out like on the GameCube and I have it on my 360, that's also one that you got to go back through because that is super.
That is a whole different game. The introduction of the Crimson Heads completely changes that game because who cares if it's a zombie? Shoot the zombie and you keep moving. You're scared of hunters. That's what you're scared of. You're scared of the guys that are going to run and slap your head off with one hit. Not with the Crimson Heads. I'm more afraid of the Crimson Heads than I am the Hunters because the Hunters are this big bulky thing you can at least somewhat maybe hit. The Crimson Heads are fast and strong and hard to hit.
Yeah.
So that was such a good game. Luke is a treasure. Yes, he is. Yes, that's not a rhetorical question. Sega Saturn definitely is better. Why is Silent Hill 1 being rebooted? Why is Silent Hill 1 being rebooted? Is it? I don't know.
The first one? I hadn't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they did do Silent Hill, so why not? Yeah, I guess not. So, good point. Last, the first Silent Hill makes logical sense to remake. So, I wonder if they'll make it so that you can turn off the fog, which was kind of the whole reason for the game.
The fog is a character.
The fog is a character. Yeah, true.
You can't just turn off the fog.
Oh,
I've only played through Silent Hill 2, and I did it on PC back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill 2 is fantastic. I've
never played either one.
I have the first one digitally on my PS3. I might have to play through it some. That might be something I do this month because I'm doing the Halloween stuff.
Nice. Someone sent this to me the other day, and I was like, if only. Black Ops 7s will be tested with new matchmaking system. In the beta, if it goes well, they'll add it in the full game. Filtered lobby. Employed, unemployed. I've been saying we need something like this for a long time. And what's funny is when I showed it to my boys, they both understood. They're just like, yeah, they probably should have something like that.
We used to say dad mode. We needed.
That's what I still want. I want dad mode.
Yeah.
I want servers that you can go, hey guys, the baby's awake. I gotta go. And everyone's just be like, cool, dude, take care. And not, you're leaving us. You're gonna screw everything over, man. We're all gonna lose. I don't give a shit, dude. I gotta take care of stuff. Like, get over it. It's a game.
You know, if they're gonna put AI and everything, what they need to do with AI is make it to where like the more you play, you build up an AI version of yourself. And then you can have your AI character take over if you have to leave.
So you can step away. You can literally be like, hey, do the thing for me.
That would be a use of AI I think I could support. Yeah.
Blooper Team, who did Silent Hill 2 remake, is remaking the first. Well, I would hope if they made the second one, they're going to do the first one. It'd be kind of sucky if they gave it to someone else. Yeah, apparently Silent Hill 1 remake Blooper Team confirmed they are working on it. Oh, okay. No trailer, etc. Just announced. All right. So, part of my retirement plan is I know there's a crap ton of games I've missed throughout time. And I'm just like, because my partner at work mentioned, he's like, I was like, so do you have any plans for retirement? I'm like, I want to like get into woodworking and some other stuff. He's like, there's so many games and movies I've missed. I'm just going to start going through and I'm like, that's a damn good idea.
You know what it's going to be like, Eugene? Remember that episode of The Twilight Zone with Burgess Meredith where he wanted to read all the books and he breaks his glasses and can't read the books? There was finally time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, I'm hoping I can finally get around to start streaming some of this stuff, so maybe I won't be completely behind. But I was thinking about the other day, watching your stream, also playing Left 4 Dead. I was like, you know what? I never finished that with my boys. Christy's going to be gone, not next week, week after, where we have fall break. I'm probably telling the boys, hey, load up.
Did you know
we need to finish this game?
I was looking at Steam sales today. And did you know that Left 4 Dead 2 is on sale for $2 right now?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Back 4 Blood is $5.
I couldn't find it. I did a quick search and I couldn't find it. Back 4 Blood.
I'm going to buy it because I've never played it and it's only $5. So, yeah. On Steam.
Okay, never mind. We may have to talk about this offline.
Okay. All right.
So, because we've talked about some stuff, and that might be something that we could. I might could join you for that if you were interested.
Let's do it. Well, we'll talk about it. But
okay, we can talk about it. So, all right. Let's see here. People complain about skill-based matchmaking, SBBM, but it's literally dad mode because it tries to catch you up, and even teams. Yeah.
Last Line's the one that told me about the cell on Back 4 Blood. He was
nice. Yeah. Would love a remake of Manhunt. Never played that one either.
Ooh, Manhunt, that's a classic, dude. That's where you're like a serial killer. You go around and like strangle people to death and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never played it though. So.
Yeah, I know. I haven't. Mannon played it, but I haven't played through it. It was really fun watching him play it.
People actually play the Steam games they buy on sale. I think was that a dig at Cyrus? I feel like that was a dig at Cyrus.
That's a common thing that happens. That's very common for most people that buy games on sale on Steam. You just load up on all these cheap games and then never play any of them.
Alex is already running into that. He's like, Dad, there's some games on there that are like $1. And I'm just like, well, do you want them? He's like, but they're $1. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on sale right now, though. I mean, really on sale. Not just a little bit on sale, but like really good prices.
Yeah. I do on occasion. I get it last night. I mean, I just bought like a Humble Bundle a week or so ago, the Capcom one or whatever. So, because I was just like, man, some of these games I just know are going to play so well. I freaking love them. So, size a digital shelf collector. Yeah.
Well, when the 360 was going down, when they were taking it down, me and my buddy Max were on there just buying the shit out of everything because it was like 50 cents, $2, $1. I bought so many fucking games on my Xbox 360 that I had to like. I've had to find like extra SD like thumb drives and stuff just so I could store everything because I got a ton of games on that thing, man.
You could probably do a whole channel just dedicated to going back and playing those games.
I really could. There's so many games on my 360. It's fascinating. Now, a lot of them are.
I wish I had my 360 still.
A lot of them will play on my Series S, but not all of them. Some of them are only.
That's the problem. Oh, and going back to what you were talking about playing Left 4 Dead on your stream. You can still play it on an Xbox if you own the digital version of it.
Yeah,
but you cannot buy the digital
you can't buy it?
No,
that sucks.
Yes, it does because I have a license for it, but I didn't have the digital. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I had it because I wanted to play it with the boys, and I was literally to the point. I was like, if I have to go buy 3 Xbox 360s or ones or whatever that have a disc drive and go find 3 copies of this game, I'm going to do it. Luckily, I figured out a way to get around that. But there have been points in my life I was just like, yeah, this may have to happen. So,
well, I'll never get rid of my 360 because
I wouldn't.
It's just an awesome system.
Last line, I bought a lot of games too. I was disappointed in how many weren't on sale and were only like 30% off that were exclusive. Yeah, Super Mega Graphics 360.
Kind of
10 points to Luke's Awakening.
Kind of, Luke.
Yeah. A little bit.
I don't do enough of the 64. Like I got to work in more Nintendo 64 and Jaguar stuff. Jaguar. Just to justify the 64. I'm not going to play Commodore 64 because I just don't. I don't do that.
No, don't do that. Don't.
Hey, some people really love Commodore 64.
You know what? If it's your jam, go for it. But I mean,
I never had one, so I don't know much.
I didn't either, so I guess that's why I don't have the love for it that some people do. So.
I've been curious about it though.
Super Mega Graphics box.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it on that really big on that super famous episode of South Park? It was the Game Sphere or something or other, and I can't even remember what the rest of the episode. All 4 boys, all they were trying to do was play this one game, and like everything else, like the whole town was going to shit or whatever, and they're just like, hey, they have a Game Sphere, and they were just like, that's all they were after was playing the Game Sphere, and I just thought it was hilarious because of course it's GameCube. So
wow,
yeah, I want to see Cyrus do
ZX Spectrum. That's an old European computer.
Nice.
It's really
Okama Game Sphere. Okay, so last line remembers what it was. Yeah, Okama Game Sphere.
Okama Game Sphere. Wow.
Yeah. All right, gang. It is 9:00 here. We've been going for a solid hour and a half, so we should probably wrap it up a little bit.
Let me give my final thoughts on this Game Pass thing real quick.
Go for it.
So first of all, if you're into it, if you like it, if you're into it and you don't mind paying the money, cool. So what? Who cares what anybody else thinks? Do your thing, right? But don't tell other people that they shouldn't be upset about it because it's a 50% price increase. And we have price increases on everything right now, and it's out of control. And I think we have a right to be upset if these big mega corporations who claim that these things are more profitable than ever all of a sudden decide that they need to charge more than ever for the exact same shit. Or they add shit that you don't even care about because it's old shit that you wouldn't want anyway and try to justify the price increase based on that. We're getting jerked around, people. And that doesn't mean we have to be cool about it, okay? You can be upset. But again, if you like it, cool. Do your thing. We don't have a right to tell other people how they should game and what they should have fun with and what they shouldn't. I went through a bunch of that gatekeeping bullshit when I was interested in Amico games. And people were like, you're lying. How dare you say you're into these games and you want to play them? You're just full of shit. You're lying. And it's like, I see it's an interesting hypocrisy that you see some people that said that kind of stuff to me now trying to say that we shouldn't be upset about the price increases for the Xbox 360. So, you're okay with telling other people. Anyway, never mind. I'll leave it alone at that. But my thoughts are basically, if you're into something, you're having fun with it, cool. Do your thing. It's gaming. It's entertainment. Have fun with it. And if you're upset about it, you have a right to be upset about it too. And I'll leave it at that.
All I can think, number one, Trev's random reel says it's 3 a.m. in Ireland. Dude, like, do you, but man, go to bed. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
This is not worth losing sleep when you have to do.
Oh, no, it totally is. It's
no, shut up.
All I can think of the whole time you were talking, Cy, is that meme from what's the Apple TV show where the football coach that goes to England to do the soccer show. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. It's that scene of the woman going, "No, we're not saying this." He's like, "No, we are. You do what you want to do. Live." And I'm just that was what was going through my brain was size. It's like, no, you do you, man. Live.
By the way, the lady from that was on Game of Thrones, that's like his boss.
Mm-hmm.
Super hot.
I was wondering. I was like, did she pass away? Because you were kind of drawing,
she's just really hot. Sorry.
Fair enough. All right. Night. I'll catch you on the next stream. Yeah, we'll see you again, Trev. So with that, I guess let's go ahead and move on to our social media stuff. Cyrus, where can we find you online?
Super Mega Graphics 360.
If I could type it in real time, I should have done that. You can find our show and everything else at epicallygeeky.com. Of course, you can find us here on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. It always helps. But you can find the other shows that we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky, Creatively Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky. We're doing a show next week, the creative show. I think the week after that, we're doing a book show. And then eventually we're going to get back around to the Epically Geeky Show. We were going to do it tomorrow night, but no one can make it tomorrow night.
Dude, so I can do one show a week. You're asking. Come on, dude. What are we doing?
Anyway, but yeah, so you can check us out. Oh, you can also go to our website, epicallygeeky.com, and you can go find the merch stuff. You can find all the stuff, including, like I said, the I Canada shirt, which I think I need to change it. Like, I think I need to add a hockey stick being held by the moose. I think that's the one thing it's missing. It's not Pete Canada yet. There's one thing missing.
Wow. Coming soon, the t-shirt that says, "I don't care, I'll piss in a bottle." Whatever that was.
But you can find that on Size Store.
Luke, you'll never get a dime.
You'll never.
From my cold dead hands.
You can always find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene. Let's